If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, bench warmers, we trudge through the playoff muck once again. We have a very good series to talk about. I think that should be the first thing that we put out there. Thank you very much for tuning in live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Follow us at FEO2B Pod. Jimmy Pilato here and Nico Bryant. We're going to talk about this. It's probably one of the better playoffs for the NBA that I've remembered in the last few years. And this series is two teams that both feel like they've been disrespected along their way, along their path to where they are now. And I feel like we're seeing that kind of play out in the best of ways, where both times that you go to each team's building, you walk away with a split. Whoever can take this next step and win one game on the road, and it's game five's very important. We'll get to that and everything. But Nico, I know you're riding this series as much as everybody else. You were one of the people that were saying this is going to be competitive pretty much the entire time. So I guess let's just go to you. What have you seen so far in this playoffs, and then we'll go into the game specifically after that.
I mean, game 3 and 4 showed me that there's not a ton of difference, honestly, between these two teams in terms of championship pedigree and who's a real contender, who's not a real contender. Both these teams, obviously, the Thunder were the best regular season team in the NBA this season, and then or one of, obviously, right there with Cleveland, and then we obviously have a lot of championship pedigree. And when the series shifted to Denver here, these games 3 and 4. We saw two different games play out. Obviously, the Thunder were winning game 3 by a lot, and or not by a lot, but Nuggets crawled their way back out to overtime. Obviously, dominated overtime. And then game 4, we probably saw the worst. We did watch the worst shooting performance in NBA history unfold in the first quarter. This series has everything you want. You have the two MVP candidates, and right now, let's be honest with ourselves, the two MVP candidates are getting carried by the rest of their teams because Jokic has not had a good series. He's had probably his worst series up to date. And Shea has been, obviously, he had a great game 4, but 15 of those 23 points were from the line. So was it really that great, or is he just drawing fouls? We'll get to that in a sec. Don't worry. But like between Jamal Murray, Jalen Williams from OKC, Casey Wallace had a big game. Chet had a big game. Aaron Gordon has obviously had big games. This series has not necessarily been about the star player taking over. It's been everybody else, and where you're getting contributions from everybody else. And that showed game 3 and 4. Because game 3, it was Michael Porter Jr. stepping up. It was Aaron Gordon hitting that big 3 to get the game tied. Game 4, it was Casey Wallace hitting those big 3s to crawl them back into the game after being down at the end of 3. And then Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein playing great defense on Jokic, right? So this series is far from over. Like I'd be not surprised in the slightest if Oklahoma City wins game 5 and takes a 3-2 lead. I would not be surprised if we go into Oklahoma City and shock the world and do it again too. So it's like I said, no team has won back-to-back games. This is weird. It's weird. It's the only series left that has done that, right? It's the only series left that no team has won back-to-back games. So it's a tough series, and man, I am this. Oklahoma City scares the shit out of me because they have so many great players and so much great depth, but it's like at the same time, it's just so annoying the way these games are being called and the way the games are flowing. Because as a basketball fan, if I'm just a basketball fan watching this playoff series, I am turning the TV off and turning hockey on because of the horrible flow of the game, the horrible foul calling, the horrible just constant free throw shooting from both teams. There's no 3+ minute stretch of no fouls being called. It is constant ball stopping, and there's no flow. And I think it's a very big, massive injustice that the NBA put game 4 on Sunday at 1:30 p.m., 36 hours after the late Friday night where the Nuggets and Thunder finished their game at 11 o'clock on Friday night. And then they come into Sunday 1:30 matinee, 36 hours. And that's the reason why you saw the literal worst shooting performance in NBA history. The literal 24 combined points. Or it might have 20, whatever it was, 23, 24 combined points in the first quarter. I've
Like,
never in my
heavy.
life seen it. I've never in my life seen it being like, I cannot believe we just scored 7 points and we're only down by 9. I was like, we used to play the worst quarter of basketball I've ever seen from any Nuggets team. This includes the post-Melo days, right? The post-Melo before Jokic days is the worst basketball I've ever seen. Are these guys professionals? Are these guys in the league? Are both teams in the league? 1 for 25 from 3 in the first quarter? And just make you want to throw up. I mean,
One thing before we talk about the game specifically, do you feel better about this series because this is kind of where we were sitting last year with Minnesota, or do you feel better where I guess gauging it from last year, where are we sitting with this team and the look forward going into Game 5 and then obviously beyond?
I mean, I felt more confident against Minnesota than I do this year because the depth against Minnesota was there, and we're playing 6 guys consistently. Like we are dragging people off the bench to just get conditioning and to give our guys a half of a second breather. Like literally, like Julian Strawther was out there on Game 4. People probably didn't even know that he played because he literally got out there for about 8 minutes and ran around, got Jamal Murray some health and got him his legs back to push in the second half. And same thing for Zeke Naji and same thing for DJ this series. It's like it's just the depth for our team. We're playing 6 guys. Oklahoma City can play 8 to 10 guys consistently, and every single one of those step up. And it's the difference between that Minnesota team last year and us last year versus Oklahoma City this year is like we're not supposed to win this. We were supposed to beat Minnesota. We were the higher seed. We were the defending champs this year, and Oklahoma City has everything going for them. If they don't make the conference finals, especially after back-to-back early losses with this good of a team, there's going to be massive question marks all over the team. There's massive question marks. Coaching-wise, personnel-wise, what this team looks like going forward, because the West is only going to get better. For those that were watching the draft lottery, Cooper Flagg is coming to the Mavericks. So, like, it's only going to get better and better and better. So, like, unless they could get past us and eventually get past Minnesota/Golden State in the second round, it's going to be a failure. They're going to have to start rethinking the way they do things. So, for us, we already know what's coming. We already know change is coming. A new head coach will be coming in. A new general manager will be coming in. A new bench will probably be coming in as well. What that looks like, we don't know yet, but we know change is coming. So, this is all just sunshine and rainbows right now. And the fact is, like, Nuggets should be up 3-1. Let's not sugarcoat this. The Denver Nuggets lost Game 4. Oklahoma City did not win. Casey Moore was hitting big shots. Don't get me wrong. Shea was getting to the free throw line every other possession. He was doing a great job doing that. But the Denver Nuggets do not score 7 points in the first quarter. If they score double that, they win this game. They could do over double that. 14 points. I feel like I'm not asking for much. 14 points to win that game, right? The plus minus for this series for Jamal Murray is what we see from Jokic the last 3-4 years. Jamal Murray on the floor, this team is like a plus 20-something. Jamal Murray off the floor is a minus fucking 30. Jokic has not played well. He has had a horrible series. Which makes
what is OKC
better.
doing? Is it him not playing well, or is OKC attacking him in a different way that we haven't seen?
I mean, it's attacking him in a different way. It absolutely is. Because, like, one thing that we saw in Game 1 that really changed the momentum of Game 2, and especially from 3 to 4 as well, was like there was an ownership of Holmgren and Hartenstein hitting the boards, right? With Michael Porter Jr. with literally only one arm, he can't facilitate, obviously, rebounds. Aaron Gordon is getting pulled out to the three-point line, having to guard Jalen Williams, who's the best wing defender they have, so they have to pull him out of there, right? They're blitzing the O boards, and they're dominating the bench, the bench minutes. Like I said, they're dominating the bench minutes, and it's very frustrating because Jokic has had one of his worst series the last couple of years, and he's still averaging 20, 10, and 8. So it's like we need more from him, but it's like he's already doing greater things. So if Jokic unlocks his what he's capable of every single night and knocks down free throw shooting, which is a major problem again in Game 4 and Game 3, if you unlock the 3-point shooting, which is 0 for 12 for in Game 3, right? You unlock that, this team can beat anybody. It's just so frustrating because I see what Jokic is capable of, and I see what this top 5 is capable of. But like, I find it frustrating. It's the series is 2-2. I should be happy because we're tied 2-2 with Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 team in the West, number 1 team in basketball right now. We're tied 2-2, and it's best of 3. But at the same time, I know how difficult it is to win on the road. And Oklahoma City needed the Game 4. And frankly, the coaching adjustments Alabama made, it was very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But at the same time, like, you're not staring death in the face going to Oklahoma City. You know you're coming home for Game 6. So
You will be back in Denver. That's a guarantee. I think that we can't really put. I mean, we've mentioned Adelman enough, and the coaching situation is what it is. The organization made the decision that they made. This is what you have to deal with. This was going to be the way this run played out, and I think this is playing more credence to that rumor that I heard initially when the playoffs were starting. They didn't want Michael Malone to possibly save his job, and with what this team is doing with no coach and David Adelman and Jokic just on the bench trying to figure things out, it's showing that Michael Malone probably would have saved his job. Like, this team with a solidified head coach and a game plan that works, it could be something dangerous. But they're doing – I think we can sit back and say, like, welcome to playoff sports experiences, because this is normally how things go. You got to hope that you basically just go 1-1 and maybe sneak out 2 in a row. If one of these teams wins 2 in a row, they win the series. As it stands now, if it continues to go back and forth,
Oklahoma City will win Game 7, and that would be a heartbreaker for us. But what's just like what's like hopeful is, like, obviously we have 6 guys that consistently play great minutes, but like 6 guys will cut your playoffs short, because when you play back-to-back 6 or 7 game series, which even if you get past Oklahoma City, right, you're going to be facing a healthy team on the other side when you're limping into the Western Conference Finals. And even if you get past that to the NBA Finals, the Eastern Conference, we have 2-3-1 series. So, like, it's so annoying and so frustrating at the same time what this team's capable of and what I've seen from Jokic, and just shows how good the West is as opposed to the East. And Adelman is not going to be the head coach of this team. What I saw, the adjustment, and I know we're talking about both teams are blind here because we don't really need to talk about them individually, but like that third quarter, you finished in third quarter of Game 4, or sorry, I'll backtrack. The overtime of Game 3, Jokic, Westbrook were the most vocal guys on the bench, telling guys what to do. And obviously, it was a 12-2 run in overtime, and the Nuggets dominated that overtime period after getting the lead. But then that in that break between the third and fourth quarter on Game 4 is what really. I was sitting there with my mom. Although also happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. I hope they all had a great Sunday. Sitting there with my mom, I was like, "You have to leave Jokic and Jamal in right now." I was like, "You got to push the gas pedal down, because you can take Game 5 off." Right, you have a 3-1. You can come back home and take Game 5 off. Right, like if you feel like you need that rest, you can take that Game 5. You need to go gas the floor here, push this whole fourth quarter, leave Jokic in, leave Jamal in, let them push, and then we worry about Game 5 and Game 6 down the road, right? Because that rest can be made up down the road. Instead, you take Jamal off. You take Jokic off the floor to start. You take Jamal off 2 minutes in. Right, and Oklahoma City, within the span of 3 minutes, at the 10-minute mark, or 9:30 mark, they take the lead again. And you're looking at scenarios like, oh boy, what's this adversity going to look like? And then you have to just throw Jokic back in the game at the 9:30 mark earlier than he should be coming in when he gets that break. And you're just like, well, now he's already rested and we lose the game. It was the worst case scenario. It's the inexperience of David Adelman. It's the inexperience of the depth of this team, right? Like if you're Julian Strother and you get 3 minutes of playtime in this game, you see that this team is shooting fucking horridly, right? You are the best shooter off the bench we have. That's a known fact. And I know it's not much, but it's a known fact you're the best shooter off the bench. Why would you not try to come in off the bench and start firing and getting the crowd going? Right, if you're Zeke Naji, you're in there for one reason: rebounding, blocking shots. You're not there to score. Right? You get 5 minutes of playtime. What are you doing? That's what's so frustrating is Oklahoma City has guys off their bench that'll give them energy minutes. Alex Caruso, energy minutes. Casey Wallace, energy minutes. Big Jalen or J Dub, the other Jalen Williams, the tall one, energy minutes. Only energy minutes of the Denver Nuggets is 37-year-old Russell Westbrook. That's one guy. And there's a massive drop-off. Massive drop-off. Peyton Watts was horrible. When you have Michael Porter Jr. be as horrible as he was in Game 4, after a great performance in Game 4, you have to have a step up from the bench. That's how you hide that. Like I go back to that championship series, championship run. Michael Porter Jr. didn't close out games for us half the games we played in that championship run. It was Jeff Green. It was Bruce Brown closing games out, right? Michael Porter Jr., whether you like him or not, is one of the most inconsistent players in the playoffs. One of the most inconsistent players. I understand his shoulder is not there. I understand he can't lift his left shoulder above his head. I understand that. But at the same time, it's like he's being a warrior fighting through him. Do you not think that some other guys need to step up when he's not there? Peyton Watson, I'm looking at you. Zeke Naji, I'm looking at you, right? You should not be scrapping at claws for finding a seventh guy to give you some energy off the bench. Like all good championship level teams have that energy guy and have depth. I look at us with Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, right? I look at Golden State with Harrison Barnes at one point, or Iguodala or Sean Livingston, excuse me, right, off the bench. I look at those Heat teams with Ray Allen, right? I look at like all these benches, J.R. Smith with the Cavs, right? Like there's guys that come out the bench just bat out of hill, ready to fucking go, and there's just none of that for this team outside of Westbrook. And like I said, I love Russ, but when he has his worst game of the season, worst series of playoffs, and then Michael Porter Jr. follows that up, right? You're not going to win that game no matter how well OKC plays. That's why I'm on the strong understanding that Oklahoma City did not beat us game 4. We beat ourselves. And that's why it's so frustrating.
Speaking of that, what adjustments do you expect to be made in game 5? Is it purely people are going to need to rest in the time that they have and play in a better fashion? Is it something that some other way that they can go about beating this team? Because you do have to figure out a way. Like it almost feels like you have to have one dominant win in the next 2.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because you can win ugly games and make it through. But I think the ugly win needs to be in Oklahoma City. Is if you're going to win one, because you're not going to blow them out on their home court. That's not. It may happen. I'd be very, very, very surprised. We're not the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sorry, Ohio Sports Talk. But we are. The Oklahoma City is a very, very tough road place to play. They have not sniffed the playoff conference championship since KD and Russ were there, right? So they are looking to inch back and itching for that heart and soul of that team to come back. So they are very excited to be back at home court tied 2-2. So it's going to have to be a dirty win in game 5, or it's going to have to be a dirty win in game 7 if you're going to win. At home, I expect this team to come out firing. I would be very surprised if Oklahoma City wins the series here. I think if Oklahoma City wins the series, it'll be in 7. And I think if the Nuggets win the series, it'll be in 6. I don't think that's where my thoughts are on this. Like I said, I think Oklahoma City is obviously the deepest team in the playoffs. They have guys that can step up at any moment. Shea is very, very good getting to the foul line. The big question mark in this entire series has been like the way they are reffing these two guys. I know we can't pull up clips because we don't want to get demonetized here, but like if you watch that minute and a half sequence where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fell to the ground, leaned away, shot the ball in the air, got the foul draw, they called it a continuation. He got 2 shots. 1 or 2 possessions back the other way. Jokic gets clearly fouled from the free throw line, fading away on the arm, puts up a shot, makes a shot. It's not a continuation. It's the same exact level of sequence and everything. If one Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I dare you to tell me the difference between the 2 plays. You draw those 2 up. Tell me the difference between the 2 plays. One's a continuation, not being a continuation. I dare you, because there's not. There's not. And obviously, the physicality on Jokic as opposed to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is massive, right? You touch Shai, it's a James Harden level foul. And I'll give Christian Brown a lot of love, and I'll give Westbrook a lot of love because I think their defense on Shai has been very, very good thus far. But you know that when a team's best play, Mark Dagnall writes in his little on his little playbook. He's like, all right.
Foul.
So what we're gonna do is here we're gonna take the ball in. So Jalen Williams pass it to Shai. Shai, you're gonna drop it to the check. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set a pick on this side. Shai, you're going to go to the bucket, and whoever's in there, you're gonna run into the chest and throw the ball in the air. It's gonna be a foul. I could run the offense for the Oklahoma State Thunder. I could because when look at the 2 refs that the Thunder have won these games. Tony Brothers, who is literally cross-eyed. I'm not joking. He's literally cross-eyed. It's not a fucking joke. He's literally cross-eyed. And Scott Foster. Two refs that know, okay, you know what? We're going to give Shea that he's a superstar, right? We'll give him a superstar call. Well, Jokic is going to bitch and moan about everything. He's going to get bullied in the center. He's going to get pushed around because he's a big man anyways. So we're just going to let it go. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Like it's very, very ridiculous. Like I'm not complaining about the refs because I think the Nuggets have shot themselves in the foot so much that we should be up 3-1. But it's also very, very frustrating because there is a clear and obvious understanding that the NBA is realizing, okay, Shea is going to win MVP. We have to make sure this team makes the conference finals. Right? We got to push all. It is the wildest thing ever because at the end of, I believe it was the second quarter of Game 3, or maybe it was the second quarter of Game 4. I can't remember. Oklahoma City called a timeout with 6 seconds left. Called a timeout after possession. They went to their huddle. I obviously I was on the opposite side. But I looked over there and I was like, I know exactly what he's doing. He's telling Jalen Williams to take the ball and go right at Michael Porter Jr. and get him his third foul and get the hottest shooter out there, the Game 3, and get him in foul trouble. And they did. And they got 2 free throws in the other quarter. I was like, I can't believe this is the NBA. I can't believe this is what I'm watching. It's why people have stopped watching. It's why people could care less about the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world. It's because you have no standard set. You have no standard set. I understand that the NBA is hurting for ratings. But my God, if you need any more fucking reason to believe that the NBA is rigged, look at the fucking draft lottery.
Yeah, I mean, Nico Harrison saved his job with the draft lottery. That's for sure.
Like, Adam Silver is a little puppet. He's like, okay, let's do this. So Nico Harrison, you're going to trade a star player, Luka Doncic, and you're going to have a 1.8% chance. By the way, the fourth lowest odds in NBA history to get their one pick. And you are going to jump the Wizards, who are the worst franchise in all basketball. You're going to jump the Hornets, who have sucked for so many years. You're going to jump who else? Philly, who sucked. We're horrible this year.
New York? Oh, no, not New York. Not New York.
The Nets, Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
You jump Brooklyn, who's horrible, right? Oh, you're going to jump all those and get the number one pick, too? And you're telling me that the refs are not saying, let's give Shea some more free throws? So
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the WWE over here. Somebody's on the apron. I got to take care of this. I'll count don't worry about the steel chair in the ring. I got to take care of this over here.
There is a good reason why us basketball fans love soap opera so much. Because the NBA is literally that. It's like you will not find a basketball fan that also probably who their wife doesn't probably watch, or girlfriend or significant other or whatever doesn't watch The Bachelor. Because it's the same bullshit where it's scripted and everything just fucking always combines together. That's like, that's very, very interesting that played out that way. I wonder, it's like, it's really crazy how wild that is.
Yeah.
And for those that think I'm losing my mind, I can go back in history. Well, how the fuck does Cleveland just land LeBron James? How does Chicago bring the hometown kid Derrick Rose home? How does Patrick Ewing revive the New York Knicks after the Knicks were one of the worst franchises in basketball?
I don't know what you're talking about.
How does the Cleveland Cavaliers 1 year after LeBron leaves get 2 number 1 overall picks in the span of 3 years? It's not like I'm fucking psychic. It's psychotic. It's literally the greatest soap opera you ever will watch. And it's unfortunate that the entertainment off the floor has gotten more than on the floor, because the entertainment on the floor is guys foul baiting and doing little things, little shit that just goes by to win.
It's funny that the more international the game gets, the more it looks like soccer. We have an American Pope, so maybe we can bring some American back to American basketball and not have the NBA be just guys falling all over the hardwood. I guess real quickly, do you want to touch on the other series in the West, and we'll talk about it a little bit more? But just
we don't need to go crazy, but I mean, with Steph Curry out, that hurts them.
It was interesting how Steph went out, and then Ant almost went down as well. He was out.
I'm watching this next game, a Celtics game in the background. He just went down with a Boston injury too. So we have a good chance. It's New York versus Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling
Indiana
you,
still shooting at like an 86% clip.
Indiana is fucking torching people, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are a walking fucking disaster right now.
It's too bad. We were gonna get our boys for Ohio Sports Talk on if they made the Eastern Conference
Finals.
But,
I'm not saying it, but they're calling them the Atlanta Hawks. Is all I'm going to say.
Oh.
For those that don't know, from the 2010s, those Hawks teams with Horford, Korver, Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, they're calling them the Hawks. So I
apologize, Jordan and Doug, but it is what it is. We're probably staring at, we could be staring at a pretty heartbreaking playoff run as well.
I don't know. I'll keep saying this. I don't think it's a heartbreaker.
I just mean with the way that the Avalanche and the Nuggets always seem to.
The Avs are a different story. The Avs are a different story. That's heartbreak. The Nuggets, at this point, everyone thought we were going to lose the Clippers.
Yeah.
People said the Thunder were going to sweep us. That was a real take on ESPN before the series started. Real take. We're going to get swept. At minimum, 5 games. And we at least forced the series to 6. We were stood no chance. We've had no days of rest in between series. We have played back-to-back game every other day for the last 3 weeks. And we're standing here, still swinging, without a coach, with 6 guys. I'm not going to complain because I know change is coming. I don't know what the Avs change looks like. I have no idea because that's going to happen. I know what the Nuggets change is going to look like here in the offseason. It's going to be a GM and a head coach. And whether or not the Crockies fumble there or not is a conversation for the summer. But I know where the changes come from. I don't know where the changes come from the Avs, right? Change is coming to the Denver Nuggets. If we can make it to the Western Conference Final with all this turmoil going on, I will be a happy man. Obviously, I want to win. Obviously, I want to win a championship. But this may be, if Jokic somehow wins, and look, we are very, very far away from this. But if Jokic somehow wins this MVP, we need to have gold conversations because I don't know how this is one of those championships where we carry the team. Like we talked about LeBron carrying that Cavaliers team in 2017. They got swept by KD and the Warriors, how he carried them. And we talk about Dirk and that Dallas series, how he helped carry them, how Kobe and those Kobe and Shaq carried those Lakers teams. This is going to be Jokic's carry if he somehow pulls this off. And it is going to have uncomfortable conversations for a lot of people.
It'd be a wild time to be a Dallas sports fan. And if I were Chris McFarland, I would just turn every source of media off. Like, don't watch.
It's very, very funny how after Luka just gets disbanded, right? Just fucking the stupidest move in NBA history, right? And Dallas has now gone everything other way. Miko Rantanen, right? Miko Rantanen.
Back-to-back hatties.
Playoff Miko is a real thing, going crazy, right? They get the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft with Paige Beckers. Hall of Fame level talent already coming in the WNBA. Dallas Wings get that. And then with 1.8% chance, they give Cooper Flag. I tweeted this out on our account. I was like, if Nico Harrison passes on Cooper Flag, I genuinely fear for his life. I genuinely think I
didn't know the level of magnitude of Cooper Flag. I didn't know what he would do to the franchise.
1 cheeseburger in a fucking 1 Shador level Sanders interview, and Dallas Cooper Flag is a San Antonio Spur. Think about that. Oh my God. Oh,
we're gonna have a civil war. Dallas is gonna invade San Antonio. Give us back Cooper Flag. We won't leave until you give us back the number 1 pick.
That's why I could never quit basketball. It's like as much as the game, the sport can be boring and the game can be shitty and say anything. It never, and I mean never, disappoints. It never disappoints in terms of entertainment value. It will never.
We got a lot of entertainment to talk about. We'll be back with episode 231 on Wednesday. And then Nico's going to go off and enjoy PLL.
Training camp, baby. The Woods are rolling. All I want to say is the Woods got some dogs coming.
There's something. We'll leave it on this because we appreciate you guys chiming in on the chat. Alex out of Magic. Michael Jordan is back on NBA and NBC. I've not seen him on TV. I don't know.
He doesn't. He literally has not. Like obviously the whole general manager of the Charlotte Hornets didn't freaking work out, so he has to recreate his image. I'm sure the betting. I'm sure NBC will have a sports book come out here in the coming weeks in preparation for next season, and Michael Jordan will be the spokesperson for that and making sure that he gets you guys all set up with the right bets every single week. That would be the funniest thing ever, wouldn't it be? If you saw Michael Jordan on NBC on SNL,
can he do that though?
Yes, he can't. He doesn't like it. Gretzky talks about lines, and he doesn't
Gretzky
have.
never had to leave the game because of gambling debts
That's
that he
true.
had to pay
That's
off, and his
that's
dad
also
was never
true.
murdered because of his gambling debts.
That's also very true, but still, like I think it'd be very funny. I think the jokes write themselves. Is all I'm gonna say.
That would be I'm OJ Simpson, and I'm here to tell you,
It also is very funny that the second LeBron is like halfway out the door of the NBA, he all of a sudden comes back. It's very. I mean,
Nico, I can't. I deal with middle school drama on a daily basis, and NBA is like the middle school of the sports world. There's just
it's.
I actually had to sit there today. So if you're gonna sit there and gossip, I'm gonna make the assignment due today. You better get some work done. Gossip and get some work done.
Oh, man, the NBA never disappoints me. It never disappoints me. I will say, like I said, last thing on the Nuggets is like, let's see what this team is made of, because Jokic has had a horrible series. I would love nothing more for the MVP to be announced tomorrow, and Jokic walks in and drops a 50, 20, and 10 game, and the Denver Nuggets come to Denver with a 3-2 win and get to go game 6, on Thursday, and get to close them out. So we'll see.
We got a lot of hopes. We'll be watching, and make sure you continue to tune in, subscribe, tell your friends, make sure you follow at FEOTB Pod. Like I said, we'll be back with episode 231 on Wednesday night. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Nico Bryant. Go Nuggets. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here.